I'm way behind. Mic test. It's the mic. Trying to get it dialed into a good volume tonight. I was listening to a playback. I was blowing out my eardrums listening to it. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Picking up the headset. Wait, I need to transition in first and test it. Here we go. Hit the button. Ooh. Is it working? Everything working? We live. Set this thing up. There we go. Got a bunch of lights. Got the... Y'all can see the webcam. Yeah, all right. I'm so far behind.
Power off.
Oh, I'm so far behind tonight. So far behind. Yikes. Howdy, Iron Elemental, and oh my goodness, how generous. Thank you very much for the super chat. A little tip to slip under the... Hey now, she's a barbarian, not a stripper, but she is pretty stripped down. Thank you immensely. That's, crazy generous, good sir. That also reminds me, I haven't quite worked it out yet, but I know there's a way to get super chats set up where one of the bots out there will read it, turn it into text to speech, and I think that's really fun. So I'm going to incorporate that at some point. I think Streamlabs does it. So might include that in a 1,000 subs thing or whatever. I've got to clean up this workstation. I've been 3D printing like mad. Printed out a whole bunch of Thesta CTS7As for the Battletech meetup this month at Games of Berkeley. Everybody who shows up will get one, hopefully painted by me. I don't want to say it's midnight. She's pretty. I'm a degenerate. Yes, well, you're in good company. You know, I mean, the content itself will be kind of positing the whole models made for the male gaze being okay and adding them to your collection. I still haven't written up the script for it, but I'm thinking something more, how should I put it? Academic, I guess, in the thinking, in the script, the words in the script. All right, let me grab my towels. 1 second. So I ran out of paper towels while working on that tattoo project, which those of y'all who are in the community, if you're a member of the Discord, you know all about that. And I, instead of going to the store, I dug into my tattoo supplies tool chest, I guess is what you'd call it. I found these salon towels, and they have been really, really great, actually, for working on minis, for painting and whatnot. So I've been using the heck out of them. I have no idea how much they cost. I do know they're an Amazon product because they came from the Amazon return store in my hometown. Hello, fellow nerds working on a Krampus model for a painting competition. Well, hello, Overlord Tweak, and welcome to the live stream. That sounds fantastic. Sounds like a really fun project to work on a Krampus for the holidays. Just in time, too. I thought I might try to do a holiday thing, but I think instead Titania is going to be my holiday submission for the channel. I've been promising this model for ages. And, yeah. Krampus is evil Santa. Krampus is like a part of the holiday mythos. It's like in addition to Santa. Like puts kids in a sack and beats them with a stick or something. I can't recall myself. Alright, so tonight my wet palette is still moist from last week. Though it's not as moist as it was last time I pointed out this works. So we're going to rehydrate it a little bit. And I only got a few colors on it from the dragon. Our dragon from last week is still in a red state. I haven't done any highlighting on it, but I got to get Titania done for the video. So, for that, we're going to get stuck in, and tonight we're working on boots and gloves, I think. Maybe we'll move on to the hair, but I'm not sure we'll necessarily get there, but we'll definitely get these boots done. I'm thinking we could do a little non-metallic metal here on the shin guards. So, without further ado, let's start in with some... Ow! I just ran my face into the webcam arm. Perfect. Let's start with some browns. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to go with. So I'm going to grab a few options before we get started. Do I want to go with GW or do I want to go with... Man, this camera is just all up in my business. I might want to try out some of these Vallejo colors instead. Let's see. I've got beige brown. I've got German camo, pale brown, and then tan earth, a little bit of ivory, and what is this? Flat earth. My favorite color. German camo, medium brown. Yeah, let's take a look at the Vallejo colors. Actually, they're more naturalistic colors as opposed to these wild GW tones, which I've got Mornfang brown, Scrag brown, and XV88, but I think they're, I don't know, maybe a little too identifiable by the average mini painter. So instead, let's look at doing some stuff with these muted camouflage esque colors. And we've got this like foundational coat of the pink and the purple, but I think we're gonna try to just cover over that entirely. I don't think it's gonna add anything to the brown. Yeah. So let's... I do want to mix in a little splash of color in the tan. So maybe like we can use a little bit of this sunny skin tone to put a little warmth into it. And maybe dark sand. We'll play it by ear. All right, that's good. That's good where we're at. So anyhow, welcome to another Country Fried paint stream, the thing we do every Wednesday. It's gonna be same time, same place every week. work on various models, whether or not they're going in for videos or for commissions or whatever, just painting something. I think it's nice to have a scheduled Wednesday show. So welcome, and thank all y'all for showing up. And if you found this via the algorithm, make sure to check the description down below, where you should find a link to the Discord if you want to come on over to the Country Fried Minis Discord and show off what you're working on. Because for me, that's what this is all about, is the community. Yeah. I'm doing a skin cloak to make him really nasty. Oh, that sounds fabulous. And a bit gruesome, but gruesome seems appropriate for Krampus. Now, does the skin come from the naughty children or the parents who tried to stop him taking the naughty children away? I'm more for the latter. Alright, let's get these paints all shook up. I think I'm still going to have to manually shake a couple of them. This flat earth is a little separated out. Ooh. Is it so old it's seized up? Let's find out. No, it's just got a little separation at the top right here. Alright, so I'm actually going to mop that up immediately, because I'd need to get the shot of putting the paint on the palette. Okay, so if I recall correctly from last 2 episodes of working on Titania, I was working with gloves on. So we're gonna keep a paint mixer's giving NSFW vibes. Yes. I totally picked out pink for the NSFW vibes and not because it was the cheapest one. But I do think it's kind of funny, this whole wobbly pink nipple thing. Alright. Anyhow, also welcome Nathan. Welcome another Nate. Good to see y'all again for another stream here in the corner. I'm going to be working on our sexy lady. I've been really pleased with how the the glazing has treated me. I'm not sure it really communicates well on camera. It'll look a lot better in the full video, but we've got some really bright highlights kind of hitting the hip and the belly and the top of the thigh. And the shadows on the back, let's see if I can angle this decently, go to this like real deep blue from our sprayed on color. And yeah, it looks great. I definitely recommend giving glazing a go if you haven't tried it yourself. Yeah, glove up before touching lady bits. Well, this is a professional setting, sir. We use the utmost professionalism here. Yeah, all right. So, Nightbot has dropped a come on over to the Country Fried Discord and share your work. That link should work and bring you on over. So if you're not already a member over at the Discord, check it out. We'd love to see what you're working on. All right, so with all that waffling mostly done, let's get set up and start filming. So as always, whenever I'm doing these streams and working on a model at the same time, I'm just straddling my camera on this cheap tripod. See if I can't get it. Let me flash it to the camera for y'all. So I picked up this Endurax tripod on Amazon for like 30 bucks. It's aluminum, so it's lightweight and fairly sturdy. And then I picked up this here phone mount for the plate at the top. Clamps on the camera mount, and it works fabulously. I'm working with the Galaxy Note 9, which has 4K filming. So, you know, if any of y'all out there are wanting to paint some models and create content yourself, just know that you can totally work with just your phone, a nice tripod, and then I'm using 2 softbox lights to get nice even lighting, and then I've got the desk light for the really bright spot. Unfortunately, the desk light kind of mucks with the webcam, but you know, the streams are more about seeing what's going on behind the curtain and live chatting and communication. So yeah, for about, I don't know, $60, 70, 75 or so, you can get set up and start filming paint models yourself. I highly recommend giving it a go. And of course, if you start any content yourself, don't hesitate to hit me up. I'll give you a shout out on the channel, maybe even feature your channel in a Howdy Do Painter of the Week or something. I don't know, something like that. Anyhow, let's look into getting some browns down, and I think we're gonna use GW. So all these Vallejo colors are really muted, but they don't have like a rich saturated base tone. So I think we're gonna go with our Mornfang brown for the base, and then we'll work through maybe this flat earth into tan earth and mix in a little bit of sunny skin tone to give it some vibrancy. I wanted to get away from GW Citadel colors for this, but I think in this case my Mornfang brown is going to be the richest base color. So we're going to start with that. Let's find a paintbrush, and as always, we'll start by showing it to the camera. If it would focus, show it to the camera, put a little bit on the palette. Damn, that's 90 seconds of waffling instead of just hopping to. Funny. Yeah, let's do that. And I think we're gonna use that miniature painting trick for various accessories, in that we're going to use this Mornfang brown as like a universal brown base coat. Iron Elemental says, what if you mix red in the desaturated browns? Might pull it more towards skin / leather. I do have this hull red that's like a kind of like the iron oxide primer that German tanks had. I usually use it for a chipping color on my mechs. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's do it. So, as always, we're going to go and get a little bit of water, and we're going to thin down our browns. And I'm going to put 2 drops in the hull brown, 1 drop in the Mornfang brown, and we're going to use a little bit of fluid retarder to give myself a little bit more working time, and then just a drop of that in each. I'm pretty sure this is just glycerin. Another Nate says he loves waffles. Might even say I'm here for waffles. Yeah, I think that's fair. I've noticed more and more in the streams that I frequent that it's really awesome when you're working with a creator who not only puts out fun content but engages with the stream. I don't want to say it's like an analog for socializing, but it kind of scratches those same, that hits those same notes, scratches that itch a little bit. You know who hates waffles, Nate? Nightbot. Yeah. Nighty Boy to strike me more of a pancake. Oh man, but pancakes is so good, dude. Pancakes. Ah, yes. I'm a fan of pancakes. All right, so I need to try and hit a balance between the positioning of this here light and my ability to film it. All right. Nightbot is a heretic. I bet he doesn't even like biscuits. Oh, Nightbot doesn't even know what biscuits are. Not at all. And by biscuits, I mean those good old Southern style buttermilk biscuits. All right, so yeah, without any syrup. Ew. Well, yeah. All right. When I was still an enjoyer of animal products, my grandpa would make these. He'd make basically plain pancakes with breakfast, and then put a sunny side up or over easy fried egg, one with a nice runny yolk in it, and then eat it over top of the pancake, and it was actually kind of fantastic. The little bit of vanilla in the pancakes made for like not quite sweet, like a semi-sweet experience, and it was really enjoyable. So with the right toppings, pancakes don't need syrup. I just watched an Adam Ragusea video where he did like a savory pancake and topped it like kind of similarly, a little bit of cheese and eggs, and I want to say it was like pepperoni or something, some kind of sausage. So yeah, pancakes without syrup isn't always heresy. Nightbot likes microwave pancakes from last week. Now, last week's a little too much, but I could get behind microwaving leftover pancakes from the day before. In my experience, they never last longer than that. All right. So, we're starting with this whole red. Thank you for the recommendation, Iron Elemental. I'm going to get a little bit of that vibrancy in the base tone for this boot. And it's less a boot, more like a wrapping. I mean, she's obviously wearing boots, but this is like some kind of coating over top. And I think I've got the camera where you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. See if I can't angle this thing down a little more. Let's pause the recording. I don't dislike pancakes, but those crispy corrugated breakfast slabs are just so... no words. No words at all. I'm gonna come down a bit. Let's see if I can't get this camera a little closer to the action. Cattle food. Another Nate says fresh mango, kiwi slices, coconut mix. So many alternatives to fenugreek flavored corn juice. Ah, yes. Quote unquote maple syrup. Although it does say maple flavored syrup, so it's only partially lying there. Pancakes from yesterday are best cold, straight from the fridge. Now that is a hot take. Unlike the pancakes. All right, let's see if this is a little better for y'all to see what's going on. I think as we get more color on Titania, she'll probably have less of the saturation issues I was experiencing in the first episode. hopefully it'll focus and is watchable. But anyhow, we're gonna put on this whole red on the lower portions of the boots. I think I can even thin it a little more. It seems a little thick, so we're gonna add one more drop of water. And this is gonna kind of serve as the darkest tone. Instead of starting with the base color, we're gonna do a little bit of our shadow 1 layer, shadow 2, the darker stuff. The average household income in the top 1% of the United States is $1.26 million per year. Again, I don't necessarily trust Nightbot. I think we determined in the last stream that it gives partial truths. I'm not at the computer doing a workflow live stream session, so I can't fact check it. But you're on thin ice there, Mr. Nightbot. I actually think Nightbot is really useful. It's got some auto moderation tasks that will be very useful as the channel grows, and also has utility in the Discord channel as well, so it's integrated with both. Plus, it can just spam in the chat about the Discord and the Fiverr and the Patreon, all that good stuff. I don't think it says anything about channel memberships, but YouTube does a good enough job of talking about that. Saves me from having to talk about it constantly. Does half the shilling for me. It's not shilling, that's soliciting. My syrup is the blood of deciduous forests. But seriously, artificial maple is just an extract of toasted fenugreek salad. Seed. I don't know why. I must be thinking about salad. My brain saw salad there. Fenugreek seed, not salad. I put the fake syrup in coffee instead of table sugar. Okay. You know, I can't argue with that. I do my coffee lately with a little bit of flavored almond milk, just a splash, enough to lighten it up and add a little bit of sweet flavor to it. You might be onto something there with a little bit of flavored corn syrup in your coffee. It's sweet and flavored. All right. Pretty sure that info's out of, yeah, you're absolutely right, Nate. That seems sus. Half a shilling is still money. Yeah. I learned to drink coffee black in my military days, otherwise I'd have no teeth by the end. Now, I enjoy a good coffee black, but I drink not the best coffee. I drink Cafe Bustelo, and I make it through a drip coffee maker instead of turning it into proper espresso. So just a little bit of creaminess to cut the black and to bring up the bitter is great. I don't add any sugar, but I do use the flavored almond milk stuff. Put Swiss Miss in my coffee. Swiss Miss. What is Swiss Miss? What is Swiss Miss? That's gonna bother the heck out of me. Anyhow, let's do a 50-50 mix of our whole red and our what is that color called? Mornfang brown? Mornfang brown? So we got this 50-50 going on. We're gonna bring up the shadows a little bit, or bring the color up out of the shadows and leave this deep red in just the deepest spots. So instead of glazing, I'm just going to go with some thin layers of traditional layered application here. I don't know how many layers we'll end up with, but it'll be more than my usual formula. Say for like an infinity model, I'll do a base coat and then a heavy ink wash, reestablish the base coat, and then I typically do 2 highlight layers over top of that, and that's more than good enough. It looks great. It's tabletop plus standard, I'd call it. You should put syrup in your paint to sweeten the taste, because I'm a brush licker. But I don't know, it's kind of, I gotta have that raw flavor from the various paint brands. How else do I know which is the most tastiest of paints? I guess I kind of have put syrup in it a little bit. I got a little bit of fluid retarder in it, which is glycerin, I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of got a syrup in it, actually. Alright, so here we're using a 20-0 liner. Just the sharpest little brush I have. Normally I would reserve the 20-0 for just work on eyes and eyebrows and facial details, but I want to get some crisp application of the layers, so smaller brush it is. And this one is real long, so it's got a pretty substantial belly to hold some paint. Come on over to the Country Fried Discord and share your work. Oh, Nightbot, why? You're spamming that too much. I gotta adjust it. It's too often. Too often already with the Discord spam. It's twice. I'll do some more adjusting of its timers when I get done with the stream tonight. Okay, so I just realized that I'm putting on this paint in a layered format here, but really I need to cover the top third of the boot entirely with it. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of a rougher approach now, just leaving the whole red in the deepest recesses. Creating the darkest shadows for our model. And for that, I'm going to switch back to my other brush here, which is a 4, which is a gigantic brush, but it has a sharp tip, which is really all you need here. So we'll do our 50-50. Our 50-50 Mornfang brown and whole red. We're going to apply it basically to the center. I guess from like the halfway line up to about the top quarter edge of the boot. And then we'll feather it down a little bit to get it to blend. I realize I could have just saved a lot of effort here by not starting to do the layering. So if you can picture this boot as quarters, the bottom half of it, the lower 2 quarters, is just the whole brown, the whole red, excuse me. This third quarter up is the Mournfang brown and whole red mixture, just straight applied, and then we'll feather it down into the whole red. And then we're going to take our straight whole or Mournfang brown and apply it on the top quarter here. So instead of what I was just doing, we're going to establish a gradient first before we do any kind of layering. Actually, this Mournfang brown is a little thin for my liking, but that's fine. Absolutely fine. All right. GW paint does not taste great. And of course, once again, let me be clear that I do not advocate licking your brush. Don't lick your brush. It's a bad habit. One that I keep defending because it does certain things well. Cleans your brush really quickly. It reshapes the tip. It keeps it properly moist. But it leads to the consumption of more paint than I should be eating. I don't do it for the flavor. Although I was just talking about appreciating the flavor. Oh man. Okay. Excuse me. Still got a little crud in my head from being a little ill this week. Alright, so we've got a Mournfang brown on the top quarter, and we're just going to kind of feather that into our 50-50 mix. All down here. Cool. And we're going to do the same on this other boot, which I haven't done the 50-50 mix yet. I hear if you eat crayons it counteracts the paint. I don't think that's true. I don't believe you. I think then you're eating crayons and paint and getting the best of both worlds. The only brush I lick is the -R variant, but I still don't do it for the taste. Yeah, I agree. You don't lick the brush for the taste. Overlord Tweak says, I'm currently bouncing between 3 different projects. Krampus, my Sappa Warlord on Spirit Jaguars, Furduns, painted my friend's Calico Cats, and some Gasland cars I just primed up. That sounds really fun. Kudos to you for staying so active in your hobby. And I kind of agree that working on multiple projects at the same time is good for getting stuff done, but it can also, easily go the other way where nothing gets done, as has been the downfall of many a project of mine. Let's see, currently I'm juggling the Tanya here, the 54mm Dragon Summoner for a January project, and then I've got, where'd I set them? They're not in arm's reach. I printed out a whole bunch of mechs for this month's Battletech meetup. We're doing a like a white elephant Christmas thing, exchange of painted models. So I'll be doing that, and I've also printed out a whole bunch of a fun variant of a mech that people who are playing with the Catalyst models won't have access to. So I think it'll be really fun, but I've definitely got my work cut out for me. We'll see if we can get it done. May or may not stream it. If I did, it'd be Friday, maybe? But, you know, sometimes it's good to just not worry about the stream and sit down at the hobby desk and blast Rammstein and get work done. Also, Gasland sounds super fun. I think I want to try the game out before I commit to doing any paintings for it. I feel like it's something I would enjoy the game as much as converting stuff for it. And I don't want to end up in another mini game where I've just got a whole bunch of models for it and no one to play it with. Like, I've got 2 armies for Cool Mini or Not's. What's that game called? Wrath of Kings? Keeps you stocked up on half-painted minis. Yes, I agree, Nathan. Iron Element says, Gaslands is fun to mess with. I'm still in the process of butchering toy cars for parts, but that got sidelined for now. Weather and light is crap at the moment, so I'm just converting stuff now. Yeah. Light is definitely an issue. As of late, I slept in today and it was like almost dark by the time I crawled out of bed and started drinking coffee. Overlord Tweak says, I have my Hawaiian shirt battle mechs on hold at the moment. Damn, that sounds so fun. That sounds absurdly fun. Yeah, would love to see them. Okay, so from here, we want to... I got coffee on my face. Springtime is primer time, then paint again. Fun. All right. So I think from here, we're gonna do flat earth with a little bit of sunny skin tone. I think that's our colors here. So as always, we're going to show them to the camera for the video. Scoot the Tanya. We're gonna film up the wobbly vortex mixing, which I love this on camera. It does some really fun stuff with the camera frame rate. All right, so I'm gonna put out our flat earth. Put a puddle of it right there. I'm gonna put out a little sunny skin tone. Ooh, that is weirdly, consistency is strange on that. I think I might need to manually shake it a little bit more. It's been too cold in my cave to do much of anything this last week. Yeah, it makes sense to me. I definitely don't deal with real weather here in San Francisco. We get San Francisco weather instead. Although it has been cold. Or it was cold last night. I guess there's this weird phenomenon that happens where we kind of get like... we get all the seasons every day, in a way. Like, if you ever visit San Francisco, the secret to being comfortable is layers. Just being prepared for any kind of weather. any kind of temperature range, I mean. Alright, so I have managed to corrupt all this sunny skin tone with some of that flat earth, but I think this edge up here is untainted. This rattle can logic. Yes, yes indeed. Not that there's anything wrong with working with rattle cans. I just tend to, it's a pain in the butt for me to go outside to use rattle cans. At least, you know, not without raising suspicion, living downtown in San Francisco. So switching to the airbrush has been a real game changer for me. Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of our Mornfang brown. I'm going to snag a little bit of our flat earth and do about a, I don't know, that's about a 60-40 Mornfang brown to flat earth. And we're going to start layering it on. Kind of given the same treatment we did for the glazing, in that we're just picking out the directionality of the light. Let's see here. Y'all can't see this on stream, but I've got a stray single strand on this paintbrush. It's giving me guff. I'm gonna remove it. Hold on. I'm planning to texture paste the whole garage because I get all the packing foam I could ever want at work. Funny. Yeah, you were mentioning foam in the last stream. In the video, you should edit some low voice. Oh yeah, when that pink bouncy thing shakes the skin color. Yeah. Oh, I've got to get lecherous with it. Obviously. 30-pound bag of plasters, $10 at the hardware store. It's like $30 to fully encase a body. Oh no. Now we're planning nefarious things. I cannot say I support this decision. I've played 6 mini war games: Star Wars Armada and Legion, Battletech, Bushido, Rising Sun, and Mythic Americas. I'm only familiar with Armada, Legion, and Battletech. Those other ones are out of my wheelhouse. But I bet they have fun models. Both of them. Live casting isn't nefarious, just exhausting. Yes, okay. So I'm the one who made that nefarious then. With my twisted mind. Alright, Nightbot, Discord spam, too much. I'm gonna take 60 seconds and fix that real quick. It looks like I also need to grab the charging cable for my little chat monitor here. So I'm gonna hit the BRB thing, and I'm gonna be seriously like 50, 60, 70 seconds. I'll be right back, y'all. Almost there. All right, that worked. All right, so it looked like the Discord spam was set to every 17 minutes. So we slowed that down to 20 minutes. Wait, Dust 1947. I know Dust. I know all about Dust. It is a dead game now, unfortunately. It's a game that I enjoyed immensely until I played against my buddies IJN, and they are horribly broken and not balanced at all, and they just win. So my interest in that game kind of started dying. Exhausting life casting. My buddy and I were both pooped afterwards. So I first read that, and I read that as my buddy and I pooped afterwards, instead of were pooped. Oh, whole body cast. That's insane. That's an insane project. Half the mold crumbled. Yuck. I want to also take a moment to point out this here mech that I'll be giving away. If you happen to be in the San Francisco Bay Area this weekend, this Sunday, come on down to Games of Berkeley and roll some dice. I'll be giving these Cestus CTS 7As out. I'm hoping to get them painted. If I don't, it'll just be unpainted models for folks. But this little kit bash I was working on of, I want to say it's a Brian Bonsai sculpt of the Cestus, and then the AC-20 comes from, I'm not 100% sure. It might be a Locust Labs bit, and then the two Streak SRM4s are crafted from the Matt Mason Commando COM 2D. Yeah, and it came out really nice. So these are going to be super fun to paint, and it's a variant that I don't think there's a model for it. It's got an LB-20X autocannon. It's got a pair of ER medium lasers. It's got a pair of medium pulse lasers, and then a pair of SRM4 Streak SRM4s, manufactured by Blue Shot Weapons. Really fun stuff. How do you breathe while the plaster is drying? With my lungs? Question mark. It's just a body cast, no head or hands or feet. Nightbot's dropped another factoid for us. Claims that snakes can help predict earthquakes. They can sense a coming earthquake from 75 miles away, up to 5 days before it happens. That strikes me as another one of those half-truths. Like, how does the snake tell you that an earthquake is coming? Do we have snake translators? Is that a thing? Anyhow, and back to it, we're putting our 50-50 mixture of Mornfang Brown and Flat Earth on. And this should work as a really nice first step into creating the tonal variation that we're after. I hope y'all can see that decently. But we're just leaving that initial tone in the deepest recesses. And again, we're using our 4 brush here, which it's really fat bottomed, and has a big old belly. So it holds plenty of paint, but it has a nice sharp tip, so it still works well for precision application. And you know, it's not an exact precise mixture of the paint. Like when it runs low, I grab a little more off the palette and then mix it up here till it looks right. And now that I'm looking at it, it looks a little bright for the lower half. So I think we're going to apply this mixed color to the top half of the wrappings for the highlights. And then when we get to the bottom half, we'll just use straight Mournfang brown. We're going to kind of repeat that idea of darker colors on the bottom as we go to create some visual interest, to intensify the shading on our gradient here. These little factoids are things that I may or may not touch on in the video. In fact, I'm kind of leaning towards not doing a stroke by stroke description of what's going on. I really want the video to be more of a philosophical essay on why you should add some pinup models to your collection and paint them up. And what do they do? Call the National Geologic Service. Yes. Hello, NGS. I'm a snake and there's an earthquake coming. Fucking A. Oh, mixing some sort of fiber into the plaster and use burlap. Interesting. Running out of plaster subbed in regular cement. We weren't concerned about accuracy. Just wanted armatures to sculpt on. A Guyver suit. Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. That's... I was sitting here wondering why you'd want to do a full body cast like that, and that makes perfect sense to me. Alright, we have another factoid from Nightbot. It says, the longest cricket test match lasted over 12 days between England and South Africa. It only ended because the English team would have missed their boat home. That sounds awful. What? How could tracking a match of sports ball for so long be enjoyable? I don't get it. Anyhow, we've got our 50-50 mix over most of this model, or over the top half of the boots, excuse me. And now we're going back into the lower portions that were base coated in the hull brown. And we're going to start putting on just straight Mournfang brown as our first highlight layer. And what that'll do is we're establishing the same amount of variation between light and shadow, but we're keeping some tonal variation here to preserve our gradient as best we can. I mean, the more layers we put on, the more we're going to flatten that out, but if we just make a point to put some effort into preserving it, it'll be rendered really subtly at the very end, and make for a richer paint up there. All right, so we got one done. We're gonna move on to this other leg and start doing the same thing. We're gonna take our Mournfang brown, big old blop of it, and then a dip of our flat earth, and create a 50-50 and start highlighting up the same way. I hope I've got that in frame. Trying to keep this model in frame of two different cameras and well lit, and manage to look over at chat every now and then. It is interesting. I hope Nightbot lives in fear. Yeah. I mean, is that a good emotion to give your robots? Let's say you're making an army of AI automata. Do
Do you give them emotions? Maybe even not an army. Let's say you're making like a data style artificial person to work with you on your starship. Do you give them emotions? And then if you do give them emotions, do you give them fear? I don't necessarily think you would. Also, I just realized that I've been painting up this strap detail as if it were part of the wrappings. Oh wait, maybe it is. I was just gonna say this looks like a strap. So let me point out something this sculptor has done that is really kind of fantastic. A nice little attention to detail moment. I'm gonna try to put it up on camera so you can see. You probably can't, it's probably blowed out to hell. But, so the wrap has this metal thing on the front. And it's attached to the leg via like a strap. Or like a metal loop of some sort. And that is rendered here on the sculpt, but then these wrappings that are around the leg go over top of that. So it's a nice subtle under the clothing element. Hello as well, Millennial Model Mayhem. I've seen that you've been streaming up like mad lately. Although again, it's been a bit early for me. I've been taking advantage of being out of school for now to sleep. To sleep a lot. Since I have no real responsibility. In fact, I want to say I had my first cup of coffee today at 3 in the afternoon. I'm still drinking coffee now. Speaking of. Sleep deficit is real. It is indeed. And I've always been a night person. And let's see. I've been in classes since the end of 2017. And I'm still not used to getting up in the mornings. Black as a moonlit light? No, not at all. I do. I'm drinking Cafe Bustelo in my drip maker. And I put just a splash of almond milk in it. The tiniest bit of flavor, and just enough cream to cut the bitter. I like the bitter flavor. I don't like too much of it. Another Nate, in reference to our discussion about making an automata with emotions. If you have the capability to give your creation emotions, is it fair to deprive them of the full experience of life? Yeah, philosophical questions that were explored in Star Trek. I really did enjoy those episodes. The ones exploring Data's origins and his brother. What was his brother's name? Lot? Is that the name? I guess circling back around, I would have to err on the side of caution in not giving my automata emotions, specifically because of fear. I would need them to be fearless. I mean, you can give them self-preservation protocols without giving them fear. I think fear can be, it can be an asset, but it can also lead to poor decisions. And a fired AI. Lore, that's what it was. I would say if you can, you must. You might be right there. You might be right. Wasn't that the whole thing with Data? He's just always questing after that experience of being alive through emotions. All right, so back to the paint job at hand. We're putting on a little bit of Mornfang brown still on these lower halves of the boots, which have been have their shadows established with the hull brown, as well as a 50-50 mix of hull brown and Mornfang brown. As we get further into this layering process, we're going to kind of unify the highlights a little more. But for now, at least in these early layers, we want to try to maintain our gradient on the upper and lower portions. Get a little more visual interest in the long run. I don't want to glaze all of this and take a million years to do it, but I also don't want to lose the quality that we've established in the model by glazing on the skin. And also, I keep checking the feed here, and I know the camera quality isn't the best, and that sucks. So I apologize for the somewhat low quality experience of the visuals. I will work on that, but you know, improving that is a several $100 investment. Data was indeed the best character in TNG. I agree, Overlord Tweak. Geordi. I prefer Geordi, but Data was a solid second. Yeah, Geordi was a good character. Geordi was a damn good character. I love that TNG touched on character flaws in the crew and kind of expanded upon that idea of subverting the norms established in TV culture that the original Star Trek had already started to explore. It's really kind of awesome. All right, so next up we're going to take our flat Earth and just start putting it on straight away. That's going to go on these upper portions in full strength. Yeah. Trying to not get any in the cracks here. So right here, I am demonstrating the best use of brush licking. When you make a mistake like this, it cleans that little bit of paint off the tip of the brush, reshapes and moistens it all in one swoop. Some may disagree, but it is the best way to clean up little mistakes like that. Again, I'm not telling you to lick your brush, but if you are a brush licker, I'm here to impart some validity to your bad habit. All right, so you know, I probably should have just left the back of this boot darker now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm gonna remove some of the paint back here, because I'm looking at the shading on the back of her leg, and it's pretty dark. So I'm even going to go back to our 50-50 mix again and re-darken this bit here. Redarken that. I realized that I'm not necessarily mirroring the shading on the leg as well as I should. So let's give a thought to that right here. So we've got our light source coming in at this angle here, spilling onto kind of in and straight down. So we're going to have more shadow on the inside of the leg here and on the back. And I want to try to preserve that a little bit. George R. R. Martin created the board. Bag. Iron Elemental says, I'll be watching the other part through the algorithm. My eyelids are starting to fail on me. Good night, all. Thanks for the fun. Thanks, as always, for stopping by, Iron Elemental. I know that it's super late there. It's always a privilege when you show up. But the beauty of the YouTube streaming is it will be there. Be there. Dinosaurs would swallow large rocks which stayed in their stomach to help churn and digest food. Not large rocks, you dolt, and only herbivore. Yeah, exactly. Nightbot is what, half a liar? Are they half truths? Because, you know, some of the things it says there's a grain of truth in it, but some of it is just like, what the hell are you talking about? Funny enough, I've been learning more about dinosaurs, dinosaur evolution, because I've been watching a lot of debates between creationists and modern science, and they've been really fun. Like, I didn't know that part of why dinosaurs were able to get so big is because their hollow bones, which facilitated breathing, which is something that exists now in extant birds. That was a really fun factoid to pick up. Which explains how a gigantic dinosaur would be able to get enough oxygen through nostrils approximately the same size as a horse's. Okay, so here I'm focusing the highlights more towards this upper portion of the calf, the outside of the calf. We want to mimic the variation in tonality on the leg created by the choice in the lighting. So as we add more highlights, and this is out of focus as hell on my camera, as we add more highlights, we're going to focus them just like in this portion now. Although, it's looking a little rough. I think we need to glaze in some stuff. Do you think dinos would taste like chicken since they're proto-birds? I think, yeah, probably. Although, like, what animals would taste like has a lot to do with their diet, does it not? Like, alligator tail tastes kind of fishy, porky, chickeny. Damn it. Now that I said I wasn't going to glaze, I see some... I made some problematic edges on my highlights down here, so I'm going to glaze in some just straight Mournfang brown to soften that up. I didn't want to glaze here. That's fine. We'll do it anyways. Looks fine. It's good enough. Oh man, it always comes back to trying hard. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit of the 50-50 again. Actually, we'll do it more like 75-25. It's like our flat earth with a touch of the Mournfang brown in it. And we're gonna highlight these upper edges down here. Put a little artificial highlight effect. I say artificial in that, like, you probably wouldn't see that much light down there, but I do want some visual interest on it. Anyhow, let's get back to this area, and I can't tell if I have done the 50-50 there yet. So let's test it. A little bit of the 50-50 between the flat earth and the Mournfang brown. And grab a little water too and thin this down. I remember your vegan law. Sorry for the discord. No, let me clarify that I take no offense to people's dietary choices. I'm not a crusader. I have made my decisions for me. I'm comfortable with people making their own decisions in their lives. I have opinions, and I recognize that they are my opinions and not to be forced upon people in my life. That said, hanging out with me IRL, I might be a pain in the ass to go find a place to eat at with. That's very true. All right, so we're putting our... It does look like I already put that color on. A lot more oxygen in the atmosphere. That's why so many extinction level wildfires. Extinction level wildfires. Ah, yes, you're just describing California in general. It's distasteful. Does it count as meat if they're fossilized? Damn, Nightbot is really spamming the Discord link. I thought I slowed it down. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it takes a little time to come into effect. Alright, so now we're going to go and grab our flat earth. Straight up flat earth. With a little bit of water. We're going to start working on the... Oh, that's a little too thin. I don't want to glaze. If I can avoid it. I'm going to start highlighting up. That's still a little too thin. Start highlighting up this leg. Focusing on the raised areas for sure. And then applying less of it as we go down out of the specular highlight area. We're going to grab just a little bit of it. And so this area right above the ankle, we're not going to apply this layer of highlight at all. We are going to put a little bit on the cloth over her ankle here. Because I think light would be, if our light's coming in this way, it's definitely spilling past her belly here to hit the top of the side of the foot here. So I'm going to highlight this a little brighter than the area right above it. And we're still using this 4 brush. It is perfectly fine. I don't know why I wanted to jump right to the 20-0. Because I'm a psychopath, maybe. And we'll do the same kind of over here. Yeah, I didn't think you were offended, just being polite law. There's a new vegan burger place that opened near me I want to try sometime. Vegan food could be pretty great. I agree. I mean, you know, some of the fake meat substitutes are like really environmentally bad, but when you get the hankering for a juicy cheeseburger, having that option available as a vegan is really, really awesome. I'm super lucky that there's a taqueria a block up from my place that does the full vegan mode California burrito with the Beyond Meat and the Daya brand cheese and sour cream. It's really good stuff. It really hits the spot when you're craving something like that without killing animals directly. I'm only contributing to human rights violations and the destruction of the planet instead. It's kind of like pick your poison there, right? All right. So here we've got, I think we're going to have highlights hitting the top here, but not at all down here, because like the coloration on the underside of her thigh here up onto her butt is the straight parasite brown to the blue, which is like the first layers of the highlight, and then this section at the ankle is in the shadow of the sash here. So I think we'd have a little bit of highlighting here, like on the tip of this bit on her ankle, which I have screwed up. But heck, now that I'm putting that color on, I don't think it'd be that color. I think it's going to be our 50-50 blend. And it's going to just be a little sharp highlight right there. Right there, and that's all it gets. It'll stay that brown color. And of course, I think I'm going to go in and do a little bit of Agrax Earthshade work to deepen some of the crevices. The Nate says, like the accidental vegan spaghetti I made a month back. Yeah, you were sharing that recipe with me, and I was very impressed with the choices there. Yeah. Accidental vegan is solid bandit. Yeah. You know, that reminds me of the whole, when I do talk to friends and family back east, they're always like, oh, but vegan food is so expensive. And I always remind them that there's a thing called the produce section. Cabbages is one of the cheapest foods there is. Heck, yesterday, I ate split pea soup. And it was great. And it was just split peas, salt, pepper, and MSG. A little bit of rice. Good stuff. All right, so from here, I think we want to pump up the highlights a little more. So we're going to take our flat earth and put a little bit of water in it. And then we're going to put a little bit of our sunny skin tone in it. I may have put a little too much there. Yeah, the sunny skin tone is intensely powerful. So let's bring it back down a little more. You know, pull over the palette so you can see what I'm doing. We're just gonna, you know, back and forth this little bit until we've got a nice in-between tone, and that looks all right. This is going on an area that's not the main focal point, so we don't need to have our layers too close in tonality, but you know, if you're working on a project like this of your own, the closer your individual layers are to each other, the smoother your overall effect is going to be. But, you know, at a cost of how much work you're doing. Alright, so here we're going to start being a little more careful in the application. We're going to put some sharp highlights and maybe feather them down a bit. You know, this sunny skin tone highlight is awful close to the cadmium flesh we were using. I hope it's not too flat. We'll boost that up with a little bit of Agrexer shade in the crevice after we get this on, I think. Heck, I might even do an oil wash instead with the burnt sienna instead of an Agrex earth shade. Alright, so our highlight is going to be focused on the upper edges of just this portion right here. So the light's hitting that muscle and it's not really spilling to the bottom. I might put a sharp highlight down at the bottom again, but for the most part I'm going to concentrate this right here. And it's real thin. It's not quite a glaze, but it is still very translucent, so we can apply multiple layers in a targeted fashion to really build it up. Brussels sprouts can be amazing, damn right, and asparagus, even without slathering them in bacon grease. And I've replaced popcorn with fried okra. So much more satisfying. Sounds tasty. What do y'all think the new Patreon logo looks like? I'm torn between an internal organ or some bean. You know, I'm not sure it stands out in my mind. Actually, I'd have to take a look at it. So, unfortunately, I don't have an opinion on that yet. I'll need to take a peek. Oh shit, I can do it right here. Let's see. What does the new Patreon logo look like? Let's see. Patreon logo. The new logo. It's just like this thing? Yeah, it does look like a stomach, doesn't it? I think organ more than bean. It's definitely a intense change of direction from the previous one that was like a line and a dot. That's a pancreas. It hasn't stuck in your mind because it's a bad redesign. I agree. It is absolutely a bad redesign. I think that right there is case in point of like someone went through design school and like took the simplification ideas to heart and just like that's their whole deal. It's not a good design. Bad design. You said internal organ, and I imagine this dude with organ pipes coming out of him everywhere and just launching some Bach. That sounds like an incredible bad guy in some kind of crazy music-based boomer shooter game. And it uses public domain music everywhere. What would you call it? Classical slaughter. Beethoven's Bad Day. Something silly like that. It's an idea. Using various instruments as the weapons, maybe. And when you run out of ammo, use the what's that stick called that the conductor uses? The little wand thing. And you could get power-ups that you do different like beats, so different what do you call it? Meters? Count patterns? That'd be fun. Silly. Absolutely silly. And I love it. I'm here for the silly. Alright, we're going to go back to our flat earth. We're going to put, I think that this section at the bottom of the boot needs a nice sharp highlight. I think enough light would spill down to that area to create the edge highlight. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to nick the tip, the sharp corner with our new color. Just right here. Zip. On that sharpest edge. And we're starting to get some nice tonal variation there. It's really good. And then we're going to give the same treatment up here. Top area. Oh, wait. I didn't do it back here. I think we're going to get a little bit of light down here. But very sparingly. Just on this edge here. And that's about it. It's like impotent. The Stravinsky stunner. Oh, God. It's so silly. Man, the ideas that spring forth in these streams are really fun. I don't know about y'all, but I have a lot of fun. So, you know, in that thinking, who are these streams for, really? Are they for y'all? Or are they for me? Who's entertaining who? Okay, so we've got this wrapping done inside and out. We're going to move up to this one now. And kind of the same treatment. We're going to focus the highlights on this upper area and then a little bit spilling down there. Keeping these really sharp. Well, maybe not super sharp. Keeping it really light is more accurate. And semi-translucent, so effectively we can lay down a foundation of this color and then hit it again immediately and get two really light highlights out of the same color, more or less. A little bit here, there, a little bit here. A little bit there, and a tiny bit right here. Feathered down. Yeah, looking alright. And then we're going to do the same down here. I got that too wet. I'm salivating at the idea of classical musical shooter. Classical music boomer shooter. In like Paper Mario style graphics. Alright. Now, did this side get any highlights? It did. It's a little flat. I think we'll take our color here and we're going to apply just a little bit extra to the top here because the light is spilling over onto it, but not much. We want less here. Much less. Looks all right. We're going to come back around to this section for round 2 of that same color and intensify what we've laid down. But we're not covering the entirety of the areas we hit before. So we're using the same color basically twice to get 2 layers out of it. It looks pretty good. A little bit here, a little bit here. We're going to leave that back end alone and then intensify this one. All right. Man, it's wild with the... It's very easy to paint models as if they're all Space Marines. And just be like, I need to paint the whole area and then highlight the raised areas, the raised edges. But then, like, thinking about where the light hits the model like you're doing a drawing or a painting really does some stuff. Good stuff. Stravinsky is pretty much extreme metal with 100 people in the band. Yeah. Can it just be a toxic cycle of codependency? All right, I'm driving for the next 30, but I'm still listening. Well, no pressure, Nate. No pressure to hang out while you're driving. Thank you for stopping by. As always, pleasure chatting with you. Golf at this time of night. No, I don't. Golfing at night? Well, you know, as incredulous as it sounds, I know people disc golf at night with glow discs, so it's a thing. Okay, so we've got some decent work established on this model. I need to check out where this foot lies. So she's going to be up on the rock like this. And, okay. I was going to say she needs a little bit of highlighting here, but I think the shadow from our light source direction is going to fall here. So just, I don't know if y'all can really tell on this stream at all, but this is basically just a flat color here. And that's fine because of where it's going to sit. So yeah, we're going to do one more layer of highlights on these boots. And then I think I need to think about a secondary color for the loincloth that's close to this one, but not too, but far enough away that it creates a little bit of visual interest. Maybe using the camo brown and the camo lighter brown. I do see something that's bothering me right here. I've got a little piece of something that got caught in the prime job, so we're gonna scrape it off. There it goes. And then, yeah, it looks all right. There's a little bit of cleanup needed still on the bottom of the shoe. I'm going to try to do that without causing too much damage to the prime job. Now, the only reason I'm doing this here at this stage is that this purpley tone isn't going to make a difference in our paint job anywhere except for on the skin. So I can fearlessly clean up this stuff that I should have done ages ago. All right. So, let's do our last layer of highlighting. Last layer of highlight. We're an hour and 43 minutes in. I think we're making I started to say I think we're making good time, but I don't think we are making good time. That's almost 2 hours on the wrappings on the boots. But it's a try-hard model. All right, so we're gonna take our sunny skin tone, put some down, grab a little water, and then we're gonna take our previous mixture, and we're gonna, nope, that's not strong enough. We'll just grab some flat earth. We're gonna mix it into our sunny skin tone until we have a nice tone that's a little bit brighter. But not straight sunny skin tone. I think that's about right there. Put a little bit more water in it because it wasn't flowing right. Now, there we go. All right, so we're gonna hit this portion again, and even more so than we did before, we're going to focus our highlights. And even for that, we're going to swap back to we are going to get out this 20-0 liner. It's a really sharp brush. And start putting some very sharp, bright highlights. We want to cover like 60% of the previous layer, I'll estimate. Super bright. More reserved though. A little bit here, a little bit there. Just making the most intense pops of light. Very targeted. Very reserved. Do some mild stippling of it over here. Just the tiniest little dots. But I mean, that's really it. It's just a few little touches of this color here and there. If you overdo it, it'll have less impact. Just needs to look like the light is hitting here and this is remaining in shadow. I'm even gonna put a tiny bit of our previous color down here. All right. And I don't think this section gets absolutely none of the color. And heck, I think this section right here also gets absolutely none of this final color. Our light's coming in this way. So put a little bit more of this new tone right here. Try hard has become a part of my lexicon, much the same as hot dog holders. Try hard, for me, comes from video gaming. Like, for instance, when you're playing Apex and you see that player, that sweaty Wraith player, going so hard, the way they're moving, the intensity they bring to their actions, like, man, it's a fucking game, dog. Yeah, it's synonymous with sweaty. Although I think try hard can apply to things outside of gaming much more easily than sweaty can. Alright, we're doing another little highlight here. My Mr. Country Fried, your brush is so sharp and shapely. It's shapely because I lick it. Hey, what do you know? I'm getting a spam risk phone call. It is not going to get answered. Some kind of a loan company has gotten access to my phone number, and now I get many daily calls from so many different numbers about personal loan offers. It's like, I just told your associates to fuck off and lose my number. Okay, so I think with that, we're done with the boots themselves. Although I think the highlight here on the right above the ankle, I'm not super satisfied with. That said, it is going back here. So when she's in position and we've got the light coming in this direction, there wouldn't be a ton of highlights back there anyways. Let's think about what's next on the order of operations here. I think we're gonna do a more white brown for the boots themselves, maybe, and the sash, the loincloth. I think it's gonna go like a lighter white brown color. I get spam calls about missed packages constantly. Oh no. Tell them your package never. No. You got it. No. This is a family friendly stream. I can't even say that with a straight face. As I press my paint bottle into this gyrating pink mass. My package isn't missing, it's right here. I had a package issue happen recently. So I got all excited to go downstairs and pick up my my Amazon delivery, which was marked as not only delivered, but it said that the desk worker in the foyer to my building had signed for it. And I get down there and it's not down there, and they didn't sign it for anything, so the delivery driver just straight up lied. Which, whatever, you know, I get that, you know, they're probably overworked being an Amazon driver, whatever. No hate on them. So I call customer service and I lodge a complaint. I was like, hey, this is nonsense. I needed my package. I expected my package today. So they, in typical Amazon fashion, they're like, okay, yes sir, we'll send you another one. It's like, cool, thank you. Awesome. So they dispatch a package, and then the next day, my package arrives, the first one. So I get my, it was my Army Painter Hydro Pack. I needed some more parchment papers, and it arrived the very next day because the driver lied. And then I just didn't tell Amazon anything, so I got 2 for the price of 1. Am I the bad guy for taking the freebie? No. No, I'm not. I got extra product on Jeff Bezos' bill. Oh, it's too good. All right, so yeah, I think we're gonna work with this this really desaturated brown base tone in German Camo medium brown, and we'll mix it up through German Camo pale brown into a little bit of dark sand and ivory, and we'll get more of like a whitish, tannish color for the tabard. Is that what it is, a tabard? Yeah, I think that'll work. So, as always, we'll show it to the camera first. Camo medium brown. And put a big old puddle of it. And then we'll show the Camo pale brown. And we'll put a big puddle of it pretty close. And give them a little bit of water. So 2 drops and then 2 drops on the other side. And we're going to give it a little bit of fluid retarder as well. Just because, well, if those boot wraps were anything to go by, this is going to take ages as well. Although it is a little simpler of an area to receive color. So we get our medium brown, and then we'll get our pale brown. And now these colors came out of the Vallejo Panzer Aces camouflage set, which I do recommend picking up. It had like 16 colors, and they even sent a, what is this? A detail size 1 brush in with it. And it's like $30. It's a really good deal. You end up getting your paints for like $2 each. Careful they don't send the Pinkertons. Yes. How mad would you be if you were a Pinkerton agent and you're getting sent out over $13 worth of product? Anyhow, we're going to start with our camouflage medium brown, and we're just going to apply it over the whole of this here loincloth. And now we do need to be careful to preserve the separation of these areas, as well as, you know, don't get any on the skin, because it's been so long in our painting sessions that I don't have the original recipes out anymore to correct mistakes over the glazed skin. Which is fine. And actually, you know what? While I'm here, I see that this should be really dark in shadow. So we're going to grab a bit of our Mornfang brown. It's not even dark enough. It's not even dark enough. We're just going to get some straight black. Get some straight black and drop it in there. Mix them up. St. Lucia is the only country in the world named after a woman. It's like, what? Nightbot. It's too much, Nightbot. I rather like how wrong or disingenuous Nightbot seems. It is a welcome bit of fun at this point. Retarder makes metallics lay down super nice. The change in consistency works real well. I did not know that. I haven't tried that out, actually. Well, granted, I also do most of my work with the Vallejo air color, the metal color stuff. And that stuff is magic. It's kind of got the consistency of contrast paint almost. But instead of doing a contrast paint effect, it creates, it flows smoothly like a contrast paint, and then applies a very nice metallic in a single coat. Anyhow, we've got our black mixed in because I want this even more desaturated and dark. We're gonna ease it into the crevice here where the darkest shadows will be, and I'm even gonna grab a little more black and mix it in. Even more black. This needs to be a shadow. I'm just doing a little wet blending now. This needs to be dark. Dark, dark, dark. I don't know if that's showing up decently on stream here. I'm trying to angle it so that my camera here gets it as well. Does that work? It's probably blowed out for y'all, but I need the phone camera to see it. See what I'm doing. All right, I can move this back. It's still really bright for y'all, ain't it? Yeah, we're doing this really, really dark black-brown mixture. I'm gonna put some back here too. Some of that back here. This needs to be dark, 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 dark. This is all in shadow. All right. There we go. And now, while that's wet, well, I say that, I need some more of the shadow right here. Put a little more here. While that's wet, though, we'll take our camo medium brown and start working it in. Oops, it's too much on the brush. Start working it on, coating this model, or coating this, the whole tabard here. Is it a tabard? It's the same thing as a tabard? Is it just a fancy word for loincloth? Or is a tabard because you wear it over armor? Making this a loincloth. Because it's underwears. I don't actually know. But we're going to work quickly while this is down. Especially in that the fluid retarder did not get mixed into the black. So it's going to dry out pretty quick. I'm also trying to handle this model without smudging, breaking, or otherwise harming it, while also trying to be cognizant of the camera angles for two different cameras. It's silly. Filming and streaming simultaneously. This is already dried out, so we're going to mix back in our black brown. And it just hit me, I literally have a black brown color that I should have used instead of just black. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Get a nice blend anyways. Easy enough. It's acrylic paint, back and forth is easy. Easy mode. Back to our medium brown. And this is basically just doing what we started our boots with. We're establishing a base gradient over which to put the other colors. So, it doesn't have to be super neat. Just get the colors about where they should be. Establish some of the core shadows with this. Initial highlights and whatnot. I see that I left out some right here. Try to thread the needle. All right. Yummy, yummy acrylic paints. All right, I got to go now. Good luck with the remaining try-hard painting. Yes, thank you so much for stopping by Millennial Model Mayhem. For those of y'all in the chat or catching this via the algorithm, if you're not familiar with the work of Millennial Model Mayhem, make sure to head on over and check out that fabulous channel here on YouTube if you want to see some serious try-hard painting on some exquisite hand-painted gunpla conversions. Cannot recommend it enough. Such a good channel. Love everything you do, Liam. Good stuff. Tabard goes over chest, says another Nate. Okay. Tabard's like the full... I'm thinking like... Dark Angels. Space Marines. It always comes back to Space Marines. Alright, here we go. We're going to start layering in some of the straight camo medium brown. Just make sure we have a nice smooth foundation over which we can put our following colors, which I'll get out the I'll get back out the camera here in a moment. I'm going to try to get some rich coloration on this as well. Some intense contrast between light and dark. Really pump up that visual interest. See a little more purple from where I messed up, from where I didn't get a full base coat on. Put our black-brown mixture up there. Here we go. Looking good. Oh, fuck. I knew it was going to happen eventually. Fucking hell. Alright. I have broken the model. And you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it off for now. Because that's going to be a structural weakness. It's just going to get broken again and again. Damn it. The back edge, the spike on the axe caught in my glove and pulled it off. Which actually speaks to why a spike on the back end of your axe, of your battle axe, is actually a really bad fucking idea. And bad weapon design. If you want a war pick, use a war pick. Great way to injure yourself or catch it on clothing. Alright, so anyhow, let's not let that slow down the project. Gonna get back out the camera and keep filming. I do regret that I didn't get the that break on camera. Man, what? This white balance is just like does not want to cooperate. Is that better? Tell you, this model has been a struggle for both the webcam and my filming process. Get it to film properly. Fuck. I just fucked up. Real bad. Real bad. Real bad. Way too much paint. Yeah, brush licking saves the day. Camera smack. Yes, yes. I do have an extra mouse now, in case we have a repeat of the day of the mouse smashing. All right. is now a calculated part of my anger management. All right, so we're gonna take our German camo pale brown and start layering it on basically most of this that we've just established. Pretty much completely coating all of it. It's thinned down so it's semi-translucent. We're still working with our number 4 brush. And we're gonna leave some of the medium brown in selected areas, especially as we get close to the shadow sections that we've laid down. But maybe a little 50-50 mix actually will help here. I'm gonna feather those edges and just keep it. It's intended to be a light color with some really deep shadows. So we're gonna apply our current color really thin, but over pretty much all of it. Same over here. Actually, I think I could add a little water to the palette. Now that I think about it, a couple drops, or a drop at least. And we're gonna apply this real thin. Printed minis break easy, so repair is a big part of the deal, especially for pieces you own on the tabletop. Yeah, I'd like to see the repair at least at the end of the video. It will definitely get included. I really hate that I didn't get it on film, the break, but yeah. Printed minis are really, really fragile. Brittle, I should say. Fragile is not the right word, because they can be strong, but it is super brittle material. Which, you know, it's another positive mark for metal minis. The best material, hands down. I know people disagree and like styrene and resin, but metal minis are the best. Just, they are. The durability is great. The weight is great. The malleability is fantastic. The only downside is paint doesn't bond to it great on a molecular level, so you can rub off the paint pretty easy. So, you know, varnish the heck out of them if they're game pieces, but if it's a nice like 75mm or 54mm model and it's up on a shelf, not even a concern. Not even a worry. All right. Feathering this in this jabby motion. It's still a little too intense. So I think I'm just going to add some water here. And damn it, I'm back in glazing territory again. I was trying to avoid it. I was trying very hard to not have to glaze. We've done the glazing. It's fine. It's all fine. Except for the glazing that I'm doing. All right. I think it's good enough. Just want to get this color on there. Somebody outside just made some inhuman noises that sent a chill up my spine just now. Just imagine the day when we can print metal at home. It isn't far off. Yeah, Wow, yeah, that's a crazy thought, but it will be pretty exciting. What you could? Isn't there currently an at-home way to 3D print ceramics, more or less? It's like it's a resin with embedded ceramic, and then you center it in the oven. It is pretty cool living in the future. The future is now. Sorry, my hair is getting a little unruly. To reapply hair tie. Okay. You can already get centering resin for 3D printers, but the end result isn't great. Yeah, I've seen it on who was doing it? I think it was an Intexa video. He printed a part that became a ceramic. But you know, we are in an era where you could easily design a model in Blender or ZBrush, convert it to an STL, print it at home on an 8K resolution resin printer, cast it in rubber, and then pour molten pewter into it and make your own metal models at home. And I think that is absolutely wonderful. Shit. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I will eventually commission a model line and have them done in metal. Maybe just a single pinup or something. Would be a good one. Be a good country fried pinup model. What was her name from Beverly Hillbillies? Susie May or something? Your quintessential farmhand chick with the very stereotyped and sexualized clothing. Of course, it's pinup. Alright, so we're taking our, what is this? Dark sand? Dark sand, yes. Take our dark sand and make sure to mix it in all that pink there so it takes on a warm hue. I don't think it's enough to affect it though. It's definitely there. I can see a little bit of it in that. I don't know if that's showing up on the feed, but there was a little bit of that contrast paint dried onto this palette, and it has got the faintest bit of pink in it now. It takes a British werewolf in San Francisco. Amazing. Amazing. It's a good idea. Cameron and Swimmer. Oh man. Yes. But full on like fat rolls and just overly luscious version with ridiculous hair. I almost like this better than a super sexy pinup. Big fan. May commission. I am actively looking for a caricature artist to do a piece of merch for me at the moment. So I will explore hiring people out. There will be some kind of silly model at some point in the future. Okay, I think that's a little too bright. I want to get it closer to a 50-50 blend of the what is this called? German camouflage pale brown and dark sand is our mixture here. And we're gonna add a little water to it. Keep it thin. It's not quite glaze consistency, but it's almost a glaze. Like I said, I wasn't gonna glaze, and here I am. Came in a Speedo and a helmet. Oh my god. Yes. The Neuro helmet, and then like my gut hanging out over the edge of the Speedo. Incredible. Big emphasis on the dumper as well. I love this idea. Okay, so since I want this to be a really pale piece of clothing, we're still going to be covering over most of what we've painted so far. We're just coating most of it, and then we're going to feather that edge into the shadow. And then, I'm glazing again. And then we're going to take a little bit of water, and a little bit of our paint. I'm going to make a glaze, and we're going to glaze it into the center. That's C-E-N-T-E-R, not S-I-N-T-E-R. And that way we can push the color onto the shadow area without it overpowering it. And we want to preserve the shadow where we put in the black. It needs to be dark. Alright, that looks decent. I think our glaze is a little too strong, so I'm going to lift off most of it. And reapply it. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Daisy Dukes. Yes. Yes to all of these things. I'm sure I could find a 3D artist who would do them for a really reasonable rate. Although I'd be more concerned about the quality of the sculpt than the cost, to be honest. I wouldn't mind dropping several $100s on a good, fun design, as long as I had commercial rights to it. I know there's folks out there. Just got to find the right artist, and I'd want to work with a pinup artist. Talking luscious. Oh, I'm getting invited to play a video game, and I'm going to have to pass. But I'm going to take a moment, because they're a good friend of mine, and decline the invite real quick. Yes, my apologies, y'all. I don't want to leave this friend hanging. Good friend of mine. I just want to let him know I'm streaming tonight to catch you next time. Be right with y'all. It is so good to be out of class. All right. Yeah, there we go. back to it. Sorry, usually I can just ignore messages, but sometimes it's a pressing response. Okay, so I think we've got a good foundation of the pale brown for this section, and shouldn't have to feather and blend it too much here. I'm trying to avoid glazing just as much as I can. And here in a second we're going to mix in a little bit more dark sand. Do another layer. Shit, I might even end at dark sand and not have to use the ivory at all. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it and looking at it. This is all in shadow anyways. All this area and that area. Ooh, I see an area that's demanding some dark color again. Gonna have to do some threading of the needle here. Alright. Let me pause this. Y'all probably can't see that on the camera. The shorts or lack of could be options the purchaser can choose from. Yes. Yes. Many options in the STL pack. A pinup should really own the man-bodied. You're right. Emphasizing the rolls and curves is key. Fun to paint. Yeah, exactly. Looks like that favorite model I painted in my figure drawing classes was this Santa Claus looking guy, and I mentioned it before. The guy came in, he took his clothes off, and he just laid it out there for everyone to see, and it was fucking incredible. That man gave no fucks. He was such an exquisite shape to draw. In 4 semesters of figure drawing, the most fun I had was drawing Santa Claus. It was good. It was a good time. Real good time. Alright, so we're going to go back to our dark sand and lay some out. And then we're going to grab our 50-50 mixture from earlier and try mixing some of that in. It's not strong enough, so we're going to grab a little bit more of our camo pale brown, and we're going to get this like real desaturated pale, I don't know what you'd call that, like a tannish, grayish tannish color. It reminds me of Vallejo's deck tan, actually, which is a color I see used a lot on Night Shift. Good stuff. Heck, I do it for fun, but it'd be clay. That sounds really fun, actually. I recall back when you first had joined the Discord, you shared a clay sculpture that turned out really fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Alright, so this isn't going quite as bright as I thought it was gonna be, not what I pictured in my mind at least, but we're starting to get something that looks alright. And it's gonna get most of the highlights focused up here. I see that the webcam is blowing it out as well, which sucks, but hey, it's what I got, y'all. I will upgrade the camera eventually when the cost is more affordable. Obviously a webcam isn't ideal. Best would be to use a good camera, like a proper DSLR with software to convert it to webcam. Mine would work for that, but the I have a Rebel T100 from Canon, and it does not have a good servo autofocus, or it doesn't at all, I should say. It doesn't have a servo autofocus, so like you'll get the focus dialed in and then you move the model a couple inches and it will not focus on it anymore. So it doesn't work for this, and that's why we use the webcam. Alright. I am trying to correct where I have screwed up the shadow in the middle of this cloth. Just trying to take some paint layers off. Okay. That's a little better. We'll correct it with our previous color. Feather the edges. And then we can come back to our current layer, which we're going to focus towards the top. Just again following that same light pattern, hitting the raised portions. Our light's coming in this way, so our highlights are going to be right here at the top. And then same down here. We want to be careful about where we're placing our highlights. Just keep it looking all right, looking mildly realistic, believable, I think is what we're going for more than anything. Treat it like a drawing. Hope is the name of gray khaki. Yes, that's a color name. It's a word that is in my lexicon, but I don't think I've ever used. Good vocab from you. Your hint says your slimy couple needs more goopiness. I like goopiness. I think Twin Goddess Miniatures did it. I'm pretty sure it's Twin Goddess Miniatures. Same one who did this Titania model has a slime warrior who's like a real sexy pinup, but is also really goopy and drippy. It's a fun model. It's funny how, because she's a slime, she's rendered as much more nude than Titania, but is actually like less nude because it's a slime simulacrum of a person instead of a person. I thought she was a little too much for the stream, for putting on YouTube. The decision to paint Titania is very calculated. Maybe the most tasteful nude in my pinup collection of models. It is both to put forth my thesis that you should add some pinups to your collection and paint them and enjoy the experience and try hard, as well as kind of opening the door to painting pinups on Country Fried Minis. I have strayed a bit from Battletech content, which I need to correct, because quite frankly, a not insignificant portion of the community is from the Battletech stuff. but I do want to paint fun stuff, fun and weird things. Like Reaper models and pinups and slowly convert people to infinity. I think next battletech content will be the urban mech lance I did on stream, what, 2 months ago? 3 months ago? I don't remember exactly when it was. There's definitely battletech stuff in the works though. Okay. Their goblins are awesome. I want to paint one up for my wife. Yeah, their goblins are thick with 3 C's. Yeah, it's good stuff. I need to reach back out to Twin Goddess. I'd originally envisioned this Titania model as a kind of shout out and review for their sculpts and their models. And it reached out and it seemed like they were on board. But that was ages ago, and this is just kind of fallen by the wayside in favor of other projects. Shit, when did I start talking about Titania? Is that like midsummer this year? I don't recall exactly when. She's been a long time coming. I just kind of got irritated at myself. And then I kept saying, Titania's coming. It'll happen eventually. You know, talk is cheap. Action is not. So here we are. And I still got to convert I got to not only finish the model, but convert it into a video. Hopefully by Christmas. That's the intention. It'll be a Christmas miracle to finally release the Titania video on the channel. Or I fail to do it and kick it down the road, as has happened with so many projects so far. Who knows? We shall see. Okay, we're just about done with this layer. I think we're going to add a little more of our dark sand in, and then do a single layer of dark sand highlights. And honestly, I've gotten so shockingly little done on this model for how much painting is going into it. But yeah, this is a try-hard paint job. This is extra layers, extra thought going into every step of it. I really wanted Shushi's Cat Daddy, but his Kickstarter ended before I got paid. I'm not familiar with that. Let's see if I can't pull it up, actually. Shushi. 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 Cat Daddy. Oh, that, yeah, that's, oh my God, I'm struggling with technology here. I'm trying to pull up a picture of it. I see the YouTube. Shoshi. I see. Shoshi. Shoshi Cat Daddy. Here we go. Yeah, that's an exquisite model. Absolutely fantastic. I like this detail of the scar here. Oh, it's got both indented scars as well as keloids. Yeah, that's a fantastic model. It's a bad one to miss. But hey, you know, it just, there will be more fun models coming out by awesome sculptors. At least that's what I tell myself, because I missed Limbo Division's Holly and Coney. And I don't think that one is ever coming back. Which sucks. Which really sucks. Anyhow, back to it. We're gonna do I'm gonna do an even brighter highlight layer. We're not into straight dark sand territory yet, but we're getting close. So I think what we're gonna do is put this layer on, which is mostly our dark sand, and then we're going to do one quick layer of edge highlights with the straight dark sand. And now this time around we're establishing a subtle fold right here by leaving the previous color showing, kind of intensifying what's there. It's like partially enhancing what's there, but also creating a textural illusion by the application of our paint. We're making that fold a little more present than it actually is. All right, looks good. Very, very minimal application. I guess it's the beauty of layered painting like this, is that each layer that you put on has a lot less than the one before. So once you've made the decisions about where the highlights and such are going to go, it gets easier with each layer. It gets easier in the application, in the amount you're putting on, maybe not necessarily the technical application, like using the edge of your brush and trying to keep things real sharp, for instance. But I hope y'all can see this decently. You probably can't, to be honest, but it's fine. I'll share pictures in the Discord for those of y'all who are members. If you're not, if you've been watching this stream as a non-member, or you found it via the algorithm, check out the description or the links that keep coming up in the chat. Please, by all means, come on over to the Discord and share what you got going on. I think I speak for most of us over there that we'd love to see what you're working on and know that you'd be a fantastic fit over in our fantastic little community. Heck, there's even a section dedicated to pinup models like this. Age restricted, of course. Alright. So we got some highlighting going on. I think we'd get a little reflected light on the bottom here. So we'll put this highlight all the way down to this edge. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm pleased with it. And now we're going to take straight dark sand. Let me pull it over here so y'all can see. We're going to take straight dark sand, mix a tiny bit of water in it So we got a thin highlight color. And we're gonna just barely nick the most raised portions of this last highlight. And really just intensify what we've just done. It's a little too thick. Try to feather that a bit. Very subtle. Not much at all. Just intensifying what's there. So there's like a bump right here that's kind of coming forward. We're going to highlight just that. And then the sharpest edge where the light's coming down and hitting it, but the raised portions, leaving a gap in the middle. And then same over here. We're going to go back to those highlights we just did. And we're going to pick the sharpest point, which is actually, it's not this tip, but this edge of the curve. Ooh, that's too big. Too big, too big. Yikes. Get rid of that. Alright, let's try that again. This most raised edge, and we're going to use the side of the brush. Kind of the, I guess I'm using more of the tip of the curve. It's got a bit of a hook to the tip at this point because I'm using cheap synthetic brushes, and it is not in focus at all. And the white balance is very confused. A lot of the footage for this project is going to get scrapped. I can already tell. Alright, there we go. Just a tiny highlight on the sharpest edges. I think we'll do another one right here too. Just like the sharpest, most pronounced, most forwardy raised edge. Right there. And make sure to screw it up and get the highlight too big again. And get it right the second time. There we go. Super, super subtle. But that's going to look really good in the end with the whole package. I want this model to look good on the close-ups. Alright, where are we sitting at? We've got 2 boot wraps and 1 tabard done, or 1 loincloth done. And that's it. And I see some problematic tones here. So let's take our medium camo, and a little bit of black, and a little bit more medium camo, brown, and a little bit more even. We want to clean that edge up. Grab a little water, make it nice and thin, and we want to clean this up right here. We're basically not quite glazing, but it's basically glazing, which again I keep trying to avoid. In fact, we're just going to turn it into glazing. Take some even more water, and we're going to correct this core shadow transition with some glazed on black tan mixture.
Access granted.
And we'll feather the tips even more. Need that blend to look a little better. There we go. All right, that's a piece of cloth done. Holy shit, that took forever. And what's next? Oh yes, more of the same. So let's, you know what? I did just film that whole portion of doing one of them. I don't think I necessarily have to film the butt flap. But let's work on the butt flap now. We're going to take our black-brown mixture and start with that. We're going to push it all the way up to where the cloth and her butt meet. Try not to get any on the skin. Alright. And I think I'll intensify those portions where it joins later with some kind of wash. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do an oil wash or if it's just going to use some Agrax, but I want to intensify some of the connection points while also correcting poor coverage. Like the sections where the skin and the boots meet have some purpley magenta-y colors that are they're too light to serve as the shadow there, so we need to correct that. And then like right here, if I am not brazen enough in how close I get to the skin, it'll leave a gap, but better to have a gap to correct later than to you know, end up with a dookie brown color stain that you have to remove like I'm doing right now. Alright. I think that's got it cleaned off. What is going on here? I think that is a little bit of fuzz that has gotten stuck on the model. Let's see if I can't lift it off. Yep, there it goes. Okay. All right, so now that we've got the darkest shadows on, put a little more of the dark shadows down actually. Just gonna roughly put this stuff in the deepest crevices and then up next to her butt, because I don't know if it probably doesn't show up well on the camera, but like the shadows are so deep on the back that it's mostly into blue territory. So we kind of want that same feel with our base tone on this brown. Same type color. So we're doing the German camo medium brown and black mixture as this base. Let's take a moment again to think about what our light placement is going to look like. So she has this big rock going on that will affect the shadows to some degree. Let's see if I can hold this together and have it on camera. All right. Leaning way forward and our light is coming in this direction. So when we think about the back, if the light's coming in that way, this is all in shadow, and that's why the back has these blue tones, and then the back of her butt has a little bit of light, but it's mostly just the parasite brown base color, and then it goes into the blue in her butt crack. So we're going to have the same kind of thinking here on this loincloth thing, where it's going to be in much deeper shadow than the one on the front. So again, we want that black brown mix here. Let me try to keep this in frame for y'all. I think the most light that's hitting us is going to be kind of hitting and falling across in this direction. So hitting this edge and coming down on this like center fold. And then we're going to have some spilling down and across her body, hitting this top edge here. So thinking about that will affect where our deepest tones go. But anyhow, we'll start with this foundational layer of German camo medium brown and black mixed together with the deepest darkest up under here, which again y'all probably can't see in the low quality of the webcam, but it's definitely more in the black territory underneath. Okay, but we'll get our foundational color laid down and we can start applying proper color. And we'll start with just the, where did I put that dollop? Right there. We'll start with our German camo medium brown. And it's going to start up here. Start spilling down the folds. I think the darkest area of this is going to be this fold right in the middle, which I'm going to intensify a little more black in the mixture. It's kind of doing a little wet blending here. And we'll have some dark there as well. All right. Okay, so we got that foundational color. I'm going to do the same underneath, but not as much. We're largely going to leave this cloth in the dark, the dark black brownish color. Sounds like someone almost wrecked outside just now. I don't know if that came through on the mic. So we'll put down some of this medium brown, and then we're going to dip in some water here and use that to mix. We're basically wet blending the color with water to thin and feather the edge. Add a little more of the brown here. Move that paint around. There we go. Same here. I think a fair amount of reflected light is going to come up on this edge. So this whole side will be basically straight medium camo brown. There we go. Then we need to think about this edge, and it looks like I've already hit it once with the medium brown. We'll just reinforce that. Same here. All right. Tasted awful. Tell you, Vallejo is not a yummy paint. All right, so just like that last one, we're going to start building up these highlight layers, but I think they're going to largely be darker than the loincloth on the front. So we're going to take our medium camo brown and then our pale camo brown, and we're going to make a 50-50. I'm going to get a little bit of water, thin it down, but a little more water even. There we go. And yeah, we're going to start applying this color. Huzzah for motorcycles. Guy went through 6 gears in a single block. It's always wild to me how many gears motorcyclists go through driving around. Alright. So we'll apply a little bit of this color, and we'll do some more feathering of the edges. I think the bottom here will have more color, so we're going to soften the shadows more towards that end. And then we're going to even get some of this so thin it's a glaze. Damn it, I'm glazing again. We're going to glaze this color over the shadow. And just bring that shadow up from the darkest tones. So honestly, if we're going with the like blue shadow in the small of her back, the top of this should be fairly shaded. Nathan says, what's a cool mech color scheme? I'm trying to find some ideas. My go-to method is usually to go through the factions available in Megamech first, and then cross-reference them over on not Unit Color Compendium, but I start with Camo Specs Online, and then search by faction and start going through them until I find something I like, and then I'll cross-reference that one over on Unit Color Compendium. That whole process of thinking is how I found out about the tiger sharks, which in Megamech are like camo with a stripe down the middle, with a tiger stripe, a stripe of tiger stripes down the middle. And then I looked them up, and they're like indeed a camo pattern with a tiger stripes on the, I want to say it's the upper arms and legs of the models. But yeah, if you're stumped for color scheme, I'd check out Unit Color Compendium and Camo Specs in the other order. Camo Specs is going to show you painted models first, whereas Unit Color Compendium is like recolors of the Mech Warrior Online art. I recommend, just for a good weird one, I recommend Dragon's Breath. Shit, I'll pull one up. Alright. Dragon's Breath. I like the Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath. No way that's already done. I think my next 3D print is done. I heard over there. Yeah, I like Dragon's Breath a lot. They're like blue and gold with white, or blue and white with gold accents. Really fun color scheme on that old ancient model. Or like the tiger sharks. Can't remember if it's one word or not. Yeah, here we go. Tiger sharks is the next one I ended up on. They're just like camo, and then they've got these sections of tiger stripes on them. My first lance that I put together was 12th Arcturan or 15th Arcturan guards. So they're white mechs, but they have orange tiger stripes, orange and black tiger stripe, like upper arms and shoulders. Real fun stuff. All right. So, back on this butt flap, trying to strike a balance between keeping it in the shadow more so than the other one, but also rendering it in the same material as the one on the front. I think so far I've done a really kind of bad job of this section right here, so I'm going to glaze down some more of that medium camo brown and use this more as the shadow tone. I think I really should have intensified the whole thing, made it more intensely dark, but it's fine. We're going to bring out this leading edge back here as the bright area and cement it as the same material. Okay. There we go. And this is the 50-50 of the medium camo brown and the pale camo brown, or camo brown pale. These colors came out of the Panzer Aces set. Alrighty. Let me take a moment again to mention how shocked I am at how little has gotten done tonight. Though I think that's more to do with the intricacy of the paint job as opposed to the fun distractions in chat, which is always a blast. A most humble thanks to all y'all for showing up tonight and hanging out, keeping me company while I paint. I hope that y'all are finding some entertainment value as well as knowledge in these paint schemes, these paint application episodes. All right, so anyhow, we've got a layer added of the 50-50 mix. We're going to go straight to our German camo pale brown and thin it way down. Bazoo, hello Emery, and welcome to another Country Fried Minis paint stream. We're painting butt flaps right now. I guess butt flaps is inaccurate. We're painting a butt flap right now. Yeah. So now we're applying this color in the same pattern, just with less intensity, less my brain no work. I don't know why. We're using it more sparingly. Concentrating it towards the end here, where the light would be hitting. Again, we're looking at light coming from this angle, so it's going to be spilling over that way. Which actually, I think that means we should highlight this little bit that rolls over the top of her butt there. That edge. But we also want to maintain the shadow that's around the small of her back. So favoring it right here. Man, it's nuts painting a model thinking about this as opposed to just like the model comes, the light comes straight down on the model and you edge highlight everything. And that's how you paint a Space Marine. So same with the light coming in this way, it's going to hit this edge. So we're going to intensify how bright the loincloth is back here. Butt flap. Loincloth in the front, butt flap in the back? Or is the whole thing together a loincloth, front and back? I wish I knew. But it's a silly line of thinking because people don't wear loincloths. Not anymore. We have fancy industrialized era underpants now. Alright. Get some light on those raised edges, leaving the shadow where we want the shadow. I think we do want a little bit of light spilling onto the underside here. So, not much, but some. We're still applying it real translucent. There we go. And then I think it's also deserving of a little reflected light down here. So we bring that up with this pale brown. Lawnland. Nice butt flap. Babos, the front and back only skirt. Yes. Fart deflector. The whole thing is one ridiculous loincloth. Yeah, exactly. Well, the it's insane to me what the white balance is really struggling. And I think it's this. I think it's this whole segment with the white zenithal that's tripping it up so much. All right, we'll take a little bit of our medium. It's not the medium. It's the German camo pale brown. And we're gonna add in a little bit of our dark sand and some water. Once again, create another layer. Only this time we're going to focus it even more in an even more targeted fashion. So a little bit where the light's spilling over the butt. And that's probably as light as this section will go. I think it's actually a little too bright. Need to bring it down some more. This dark sand is way overpowering as compared to the pale brown. Shit. Let's see if I can't tamp that down some. God, I just screwed all that up. Tossing in darker colors to try and correct the mistake I just made. There we go. I just want a little bit of a lighter color right there. Alright. And now we're going to put that same color down here, where the light has a little bit more of an unimpeded path to get there. And we're going to intensify the raised edges. A little bit on the bottom edge because it's got a bunch of reflected light going on. And then try and reduce where we've screwed up and put too much of the light color in the shadows. And feather it out. Fucking A. This color smears. I'm gonna have to add some black. It's still going, it's still smearing. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna have to reestablish that shadow entirely because I put a little too much of this pale brown dark sand mixture. Fucking nuts. Got a weird like yellowy greenish tone mixed in there somehow. I think this paint has separated out a bit too much. So sorry, I don't know where this green is coming from. There's like a yellow, there's a warm tone in there that just like suddenly appeared in my paint. Nether curtain. Yes. A good mech color scheme is chronically Zaku or Tropical Dom scheme from Mobile Suit Gundam MSX, basically desert colors with a darkened chest. Nice. I'm sorry I keep bumping the camera too, because it's quite invasive. I had to get out more black and more brown. I got a tiny bit too much of the dark sand, and it just smears and smears and smears and smears and smears and smears. It goes forever. So I'm having to re-establish this entire shadow because I put one stroke of paint too much, and my tried and true method of licking and removing the paint did not remove the paint, but instead rendered that one paint stroke into an infinite supply of glazing material and messed up a lot of that shadow. So I'm reestablishing it real quick. But my wet palette is, I don't know what's up, but it's drying out really fast tonight. Okay. All right, so we've reestablished the shadow, which means I need to reestablish the mid-tone, or at least the edge where it touches the shadow. There we go. By glazing. Said I wasn't going to glaze tonight, and I've done a whole lot of glazing tonight. Tropical. Chronically is a fun keyboard, not the tropical. Okay. Nightbot says Batman and Predator exist in the same fictional universe since 1991. They've been featured together in 3 comic books. That is accurate. I recall the Batman versus Predator art from, fuck, what was that magazine my dad used to have? I want to say it was called Toy Fair. Like listed toy values, toy collector values, but also had like a whole bunch of really cool ads for like comic books and stuff at the time. Pretty sure it was called Toy Fair. Anyhow. Yes, Nightbot did a good that time. Where's our color? All right, so we've reestablished the mid-tone. Now I'm going to reestablish the highlight 1 layer. There we go. Just a quick sweep of the German camouflage pale brown. Oh my god. This goes to show you, like, sometimes when you're doing these paint jobs, slow down, think about the application before you commit to that paint stroke, because you could misapply something and end up needing to correct the whole damn thing. All right, that said, that we've fixed that, and now we can start reapplying that highlight 2 layer right here and right there and here and there and here, a little tiny bit right there. All right, much better that time. Okay. Ooh, messing up on film. All right, glad I wasn't actually filming that, because that just ended up being a whole lot of wasted footage. Okay, so it's also a very hard model to film, because to get on stream well for y'all, because the white balance is all wonky, and she's in such a dynamic pose that it's hard to get it on camera, as well as, you know, being cognizant of the webcam position so I don't keep bumping it with my headphones. All that good stuff. Okay. We've got our pale brown dark sand mixture. Just search for tropical type Zaku, desert Zaku, yeah. Zaku 2 cannon, Zaku half cannon, some Zaku tanks. Judge Dredd fought predators twice. I didn't know that. Dark Horse used to have like Grendel versus Tarzan versus Robocop versus Batman versus Terminator versus Alien books. That's amazing. I like Bark Horse. Bark Horse is a version of Dark Horse comics, but it's exclusively for dogs. All right, we're going to mix in a little bit more of our dark sand. And we're going to start establishing the brightest highlights very carefully. I think I got too much. Dark sand in that. Let's darken it down a little bit with a little bit of the pale brown. Yeah, that's a lot better. We're just going to apply this on the sharpest edges where the light would be hitting it the most intensely. So pretty damn sparingly. Very much a less is more approach here. Alright. I like that. I want it on this edge too. Right across that whole edge. And here as well. And I think the underside, the reflected light, would be intense enough to create a sharp highlight on just the edge here. Yep. There we go. Same right here. there and right there and right here. Now we want a specular highlight where the light is coming across the top of her butt cheek. So just a little bit right here. Try to get that on camera for y'all. Right there. There we go. I need to intensify this highlight some. There we go. All right, now finally we're going to take that same color. We're going to mix the tiniest bit of pale sand back into it. That's too much. We need to darken it back down. There we go. And we're just going to hit what we just hit, but really, really sparingly. The sharpest edges of it. Remembering that it smears forever too. Woo. All right. Tiny little bit there. This edge, but only where the cloth is angled upwards. And I think that's got us a butt flap. I ordered a 30K Sicarian Venator Tank Hunter, and Amazon sent me a Sicarian Battle Tank. I'm stuck with the wrong tank. At $65 a pop, I'm not thrilled. I already had 4 of this stupid tank already. Granted, it's not up there with paralysis or a stroke or cancer being bitten by a poisonous snake, but I am still surly. Bezos hosed me. Imagine him saying, at least we got the chassis right. Ha 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 ha. You know, I dare say, if you call Amazon customer service and bitch loudly enough, in my experience at least, they're pretty good about kicking down the correction. All right, so shit, that said, how far in are we? We're sitting at almost 3.5 hours. And we've gotten the boot wraps, a loincloth, and a butt flap done. This is an intense project. I did not realize it was going to be so much. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I am going to take a break and get up and stretch and work on some projects, perhaps a little more video editing. But for now, I think 3.5 hours is enough painting for me. Eats filet mignon off a nude prostitute. extra wagyu. Yeah, it's pure beef fat. Yeah, so see if I can't get this camera in close enough that y'all can see what this model's actually looking like. I think it's a matter of just the white balance and this lighting being insane. This camera just don't know what to think of it. See, can I turn this down and y'all get a decent idea of what's going on here? Maybe not. I don't think so. I think it's looking pretty damn good, honestly. What's going on here? This webcam is struggling. Let's do it like this. Maybe that angle will show it a little better. So we got some highlights established here, some real intense light coming down, but all in all is a nice brownie look. God, just the white balance will not let this show up. We've got some real rich shadows in the loincloth. So up here it's real dark. and behind the leg it's super dark, but then the light that's coming in this way establishes the color of this tan textile pretty well. And then we've got the same material back here that's mostly in shadow. So we've got all that blue back here, but then right here that shadow carries over, though is accented right here where the light comes through. I think I'm really pleased with the placement of the highlights. I think our next session for this that I'd feature if I'm going to stream it is going to be some non-metallic metal on the greave plates. Maybe working with the hair or the weapon. It could just all be non-metallic metal. Though I need to put some serious work on her in the next few days to get back on track. So I think it'd be fun. Baby will it wash. Ooh, what's all this stuff? Needs an oil washer 6. Yeah, I think oil might be the way to add in basically like panel lining, because she's rendered with flesh soft enough that like this metal piece on her leg and the strap for her loincloth is kind of sinking and biting into the flesh. So like there's opportunities for some really harsh separation, almost like panel lining. So I'm excited to see. It's either going to be an Agrex earth wash bit or some oil wash. It may just be oil wash because I can spread it out. Despite being landlocked, Mongolia has a navy consisting of 7 men and 1 vessel. The Sukbatar 3 station on Lake Kovskal. Have you fried your Marauder yet, or was it a Mad Cat? I have not. I have not at all. I'm looking forward to doing that in the new year, though. I've got my blue pack Mad Cat, which is going to be an episode about lovingly painting this old metal, and then the episode will end with it being fried in the background, which will be the new intro. Should be really, really fun. I think you should get a lobster boiler and fry a mech scale leopard dropship. Maybe with mechs. Oh my god, that'd be fucking hilarious. That would be a very expensive video, but I'll think about it. Anyhow, I really want to take a moment to thank y'all for showing up today and keeping me company while I'm painting. As much as I want y'all to remember to be happy while you're painting, I want y'all to remember that your participation in these events makes me happy while I'm painting. These streams have become a source of infinite fun for me on the weekly show. And so, yeah, expect the Wednesday show to continue. This is working really well, I think. And I believe my school schedule works really well with it. Also, so like I was saying earlier, I prepared and kit bashed the Cestus CTS-7A chassis for this month's Battletech meetup at Games of Berkeley. If you'd like to get your hands on this kit bash, I have made this file available over at the Country Fried Minis Discord. So if you're not a member already, make sure to check out the links in the description below or in the live chat playthrough. Yeah, check it out. Get it yourself. It prints out really well. I printed these with the auto generators for the auto generated supports through Cura. I think I'm using Cura, which works for both Frozen and Anycubic. It was fun to fulfill codependent needs with you. Yes, exactly. As always, thanks for showing up another night. Off Bioni, just caught the end. It's early Thursday here. Fun ending though. Yeah, thanks for stopping by for sure. Off Bioni. Again, we'll be doing these every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the weekly show. Who knows what we're working on? I think maybe next time we'll get back to working on the Dragon Summoner. or maybe some more Titania. I'm not sure yet. I'll post it. If you want to check out the stream schedule, make sure to go over to countryfriedminis.com, and there's a page there. I think it's just called Calendar, that shows the stream schedule. But this has been really fun, and I'm looking forward to completing this model. I probably have another, realistically, another 12 hours in painting it, but she'll be a fun video, and we're aiming to get this one out in a full video for Christmas. If not, it'll be a New Year's piece, but definitely aiming for Christmas. We're still 30 minutes to Thursday here in Central Time Zone. Yeah, Central Time. What's that? That's 2-hour difference, right? Yeah. Welcome, Charles Fist. It's a good one. Yeah, as always, it's been a pleasure hanging out with y'all. I'm exhausted from sitting here chatting for 3.5 hours. I'm going to eat some beans and drink some cold water and kick back and see y'all real soon for another one. I think I'm going to do a Friday paint stream this week. About 60% set on it, so if you want to catch another one, feel free to come on by. I need to paint these Cestus models for Battletech Day. In any case, I've been Cameron on behalf of Country Fried Minis. You've joined me right here in the bullshit corner. Can I even get it over there? Yeah, the bullshit corner. We paint stuff. We have fun time. It's been a blast. If you want to support the channel directly, consider becoming a YouTube channel member. We're 50 members off of, or 50 subscribers off of channel monetization. So if I do add ads into the videos, you can join up as a member for as little as $1 a month to have access to ad-free videos, biscuit-based emojis in the chat, as well as priority consideration for community-driven streams where we play tabletop RPGs with community members. If you really want to support the channel, check out the Patreon. Anything you contribute there would go directly into supplies and ensuring that the quality is of the highest standard. That said, the best thing you can do to support the channel is just, show up and check out the content and say howdy every now and then, which is well appreciated. Make sure to stop over to the Discord if you're not over there. We'd love to have you. In any case, that's enough pushing for support and begging for your money. This has been fun, and I look forward to the next one. Y'all take it easy, and have a fantastic week. If I don't see you the rest of this week, next Wednesday it is. Alrighty. Take it easy. Bye-bye.